Hey guys, so today I was just thinking about the next PlayStation exclusives because of the upcoming date of the PlayStation event. And I just kind of got my mind on Uncharted since it's kind of one of the PlayStation pinnacle titles now before it comes to PC. And I just wanted to think of why the new one could be good. Could be. Emphasis on could be because it's no longer Amy Hennig directing the series is Neil Druckmann, and we all know how The Last of Us Part 2 went. Let's not talk about that. But I just wanted to make this video to say 13 reasons why the new Uncharted could be great. Could be. Emphasis on could be because I don't trust it to be good with Neil Druckmann in charge. But hey, potato potatoes. And they're just hopping into it. The first reason is Nathan Drake. Now, when I say Nathan Drake, I want to think of how they're gonna approach the character because I don't know what timeline they're gonna pick to start with because I have a feeling they'll still use the Nathan Drake storyline because the way they ended four, spoiler for four, the way they ended four was like his daughter finding out his old gear and then them saying they're gonna have to talk about it. But how they're gonna do Nathan kind of emphasizes the whole thing. Are they just gonna have him like a sideline character integral to the story? Or do what Amy Hennig was hoping to do before, which was like leave Nathan's story alone and go and explore someone else's. But I don't think they will do. They're gonna wanna factor it into that nostalgia factor and bring in Nathan Drake, which it's like it's a double-edged sword. You can either do it well or you can do it badly, and people are gonna hate you if you do it badly. And I don't think they'll care after we saw The Last of Us. Yeah, those suspicious award nominations. Um, but that's just it. It's gonna be. It's just gonna be. We're gonna see. Anyway, the second reason is the soundtrack. Now you might think that's not proper reason, but then just hearing the Uncharted soundtrack, I think they're gonna bring it back. I hope they don't change it too much. But that soundtrack is iconic, like iconic, and I think that's just pretty good. I just wanna look forward to hearing it and the new one that they direct, especially the person who does the music. Um, the music directors for Uncharted games. There've been a couple of them, and they always do a good job. So I'm really hoping to see them again. The third reason is because it's good third-person shooters are rare. This is just kind of it, especially shooters like Uncharted. Those are very rare. I think if you can think of some third-person shooters with Mass Effect, and that's kind of gone away. And we have a couple other ones. What Gears? Gears is not that good anymore. And yeah, it's really the trail is cold, so they kind of like a whole space to fill for themselves. Because I think people rag on a lot of people play first person shooters, obviously, but very few people kind of go to third person shooters, and the ones they pick, they kind of tend to stick with them. So I'm just saying, we haven't seen one in a long time. And the fourth one, I'm kind of hoping this is true, is the stay story focused game. Now, when I mean by that, when I say story focused game, is we've been seeing more and more integrated multiplayer games coming out in the past couple of years, and more people talking down story games. Like they still come out, like Cyberpunk and all that, but they're kind of far and few between. And I think as gaming development progresses throughout the years, we're gonna only be seeing like massive story AAA games coming from like company platform led type studios. I expect to see Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, even Epic kind of do like their own AAA type games soon enough, exclusives. And we're gonna see how that pans out. But yeah, story focused games because those are rare. That's number four. Number five, the story. The story. Not story focused games. I mean the story of the game itself. Now this story has the potential to be amazing, like fucking amazing. But I have some concerns. Now this is where you might say, "What do you mean concerns?" All I can say is we saw how The Last of Us Part 2 panned out. And it wasn't well. We all can agree on that. It wasn't well. No one liked it. Everyone was mad. I think you had like streamers just straight up destroying the disc on camera, just saying this game is ass. Because let's be honest, it was ass. And then people will give you a variety of reasons why they didn't like that. The comes from themes, it's kind of pushing shit. And I was like, that people could tolerate that, but it's just that Druckmann just kind of dunked on everything that people knew. So I'm not really sure about the story, but it could be good. But I think less of Neil Druckmann's involvement as possible could result in a good game. And less of basically Naughty Dog. I'll be honest with you. Naughty Dog has kind of gone down the drain in the past couple of years, and ever since Amy Hennig left, they kind of just been a shell there for themselves. So I'm not so sure about that. But that's it. And number 6 is the lore. Now, lore is also reaching into the previous factor story. There's a lot of lore in Uncharted, and there's a lot more about the world that we haven't kind of seen. We've seen how they operate, like in Uncharted 2, the private military companies, even Shoreline in Uncharted 4 of Nadine Ross. Like, I'm kind of surprised that there hasn't been more like adventures in Africa. I think there's been a couple that I remember from the missions far back. My God, it's been a long time since I played. Yeah, there's been like one or two, but to my opinion, I think they can do a lot here because there's so much more that they can reach in because the world is so big. Like we found about Nathan's brother, all that. That's why I kind of panned like they could just set it away from Drake. They could kind of leave Drake alone. Maybe have him like drop in like later down the line, but just have you maybe be a new person and a new storyline. But I'm not so sure. So we're gonna see. 7 is the good character progression. Now, what I mean by that is, it's not a reboot. At least I hope not. Not like a soft reboot. Because I want a continuation because we've had enough reboots already. And they're already remaking The Last of Us. And I don't know how that's gonna go. Because they kind of tend to touch up things before. So it's not a reboot. That's what I'm kind of grateful for. At least I hope. And if we see kind of like it being rebooted, like a soft reboot of Nathan Drake, like they change a lot of things, people are not gonna be happy. But if it's like a proper continuation that's respectful to the past games, I don't know about that. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. And number 8, the technical detail of that is the Uncharted series. Now, Uncharted has always been known to push the boundaries of the PlayStation consoles, and I'm kind of looking forward to doing that again with the PS5. The PS5 is it's a powerful system. It's like, that's a chunky boy, and it shows in its power levels of what the things it can do. And we're gonna get to see the power kind of stretch its legs. You know, I don't think the only game that's kind of released that kind of tested the console right now is the Ratchet and Clank series, and there's not much that's been done with it. So it was just testing out the SSD mostly. We haven't anything test properly graphical fidelity and all of that. And I always know that they're at the pinnacle. That's why they kind of have a crunch problem with Naughty Dog. So we're gonna see how they're gonna push the consoles through this thing. And number 9 is the game. It's part of the gameplay. Like it links to my next point, which is number 10, which is genius game mechanics. But number 9 is interactive gameplay. Now, what I mean by interactive gameplay is small little decisions, right? Like yes or no type things, go with this person or this person. I think Uncharted is going to try to dabble in that territory. Now, while most people might not like that idea, I kind of fuck with it because Horizon did the same thing. At Horizon, it was kind of small, insignificant little things like, do you kill this person or do you leave them alive? Small little things like that. But I think that Uncharted is going to kind of border from there because that type of gameplay incentive has kind of been getting more popular throughout the years. And people like that. They like when they feel like they're in control. And an old storyline is kind of going to bore them. And they're not going to want to do it. And they want to feel like they're part of it, like they're shaping the story. So I think they're going to go for that the mechanics. So since that's kind of linked to number 10, which is gameplay mechanics, they're gonna have mechanics like that, story based, choose your own decision type thing. I think they're gonna add that. And number 11 is the Indiana Jones we wanted. But then this is contestable. Indiana Jones we wanted, the level 11 point. Because we have an Indiana Jones game coming out from Bethesda. But knowing Bethesda's track record, most people say they're good, but I'm young, so I might come out and say what I say. Skyrim wasn't that good for me, fam. Maybe it's because I'm young. I was like 13 when it came out. Or when did it come out? I think it came out in 2012, right? I think it didn't come. It came out. Basically, it looked like ass to me. Then I'm like, and then a lot of people are hyping it up, and I tried it. Then I was like, I don't get the point. Tried it a couple of times, like literally so many times. I still don't like it. It's still trash. So that's why I'm kind of saying Uncharted will still remain the game that we want. But then with Drake's daughter becoming, with if they're gonna pan to Drake's daughter, right, who's a female character, I think they're gonna clash with Tomb Raider a bit. That's why I kind of said maybe that was not such a good idea. They should have just made him have a son or something because that's like another character distinction that they could have had. But now, two female characters venturing for trophies and adventures, hunting for treasure, Tomb Raider and Uncharted are going to be basically the same thing. And we kind of see now they steal mechanics from each other. Number 12. Oh, it's a better story than Tomb Raider. Sorry, but that's true. Yeah, and moving on. Number 13 doesn't hold back on story content with DLC and stuff like that. And to end on this note, right, what I mean is we've kind of been seeing more and more games kind of like hold back the chunk of their gameplay. And Naughty Dog hasn't been known to do that. They give you the story, blah, blah, blah. You finish the game and you're done. It's kind of like an exploration thingy. I hope they don't do it, but given Sony's new track record with how they're doing stuff, right, like pricing games is $70. I think there was a Bloomberg article I read. They said they don't need to price the games at $70. They can still price them at 60, but they'll price them at 70 because they know you're gonna still pay for them, which is fucked. But that's the truth. But the lack of DLC and stuff, right? Just you enjoying the game. I kind of enjoy that, so I'm looking forward to that in this ever-changing games gameplay landscape. So this was first of many, I hope, and it's good to be back. And I hope to be dropping these like maybe weekly or bi-weekly, and just talking more and more on different topics of gaming. That way, we can just kind of have a little Discord here, and we can see where everything's gonna go. But until a later date, I wish you the best. And this is HK13, Huey Kratos, the Hollow Samurai, signing out. Much love to you all, and I hope you have a good day.